let's have a recap. I was doing a stream. I was about maybe 20 plus minutes in. It was interrupted because an individual who doesn't ever call me decided to say hello in person. And this goes and relates entirely to the last Saturday stream where I was talking about how you have these people who don't contact you at all and then want to like act like your best buddies when they see you in person. And it played out just completely accurately there. So on behalf of that person, to all those people that were watching that and wanted to see that stream, I apologize. I am sincerely sorry for their refusal to have interactions that are not, in person, to only act as if you matter when they see you in person. Very apologetic. I'm terribly sorry. I've tried to say before that people should act like we're human beings for more than, our birthdays and other days, but they don't believe in that. That's just me and my own little crazy ideas of humanity and actually treating people like you care about them beyond when you see them in person. So that's me being silly. But let's go back to why I was in a good mood earlier before my stream got, blown up, as I like to call it. I've been since the start of this year at least, and certainly before that, looking for a voice actor for a project I was working on. And I went through at least a dozen VAs in the process of looking for someone to do this. So naturally, you can see where I get a little bit of a discouragement from going and speaking to so many of them. But, notwithstanding, I still went out and tried to, hold hope and continue to use this website with all these different voice actors, 20,000 in fact. And in the interim of doing that, I encountered a user from another website who, I asked, hey, can you do this? Because they were showing off their voice acting chops. They said they could do it. I kind of was, because just from experience with the ones I had spoken to in the past. And they decided to do it. And they did it within maybe 30 minutes of me asking them, or just in a very quick amount of time that was such a contrast from what I'd experienced for the last couple of months. It was so nice to just finally have that giant weight lifted off my shoulder of, worrying and wondering who was going to do this after having so many of them react with such refusal, the exact same thing, I was drawing a comparison because I was saying that, use this voice acting website to meet voice actors, but then the person who ends up doing it and thereby outclasses all the voice actors isn't even a person on that website. It was someone on some other place. And I was comparing it to when, they tell you to go talk to all these different chicks and it'll increase your chances of getting with someone. And then the only time I was ever able to actually get with one of them was someone that, contacted me first or approached me or whatnot. So it was really ironic, just to kind of see how they tell you to do it one way and then the opposite works out. And whoever that is that's joining, I'm re-explaining this because my stream got blown up by another one of those characters that does what I critique, which is I'm not going to call you or contact you, but when I see you in person, oh, how you doing? Hate it so much. It's like they really still think that works. And then they get surprised when you have this sort of mundane hello type reaction where it's not anything positive or happy or excited to see, none of it, because you've been exposed. You're a shapeshifter. You act caring in front of them, and then like a chameleon, you don't care when you're not around them. I articulated that last time around, so maybe you'll be able to get it. Just seeing that as an example and how they prove to be related. It's all well and good. But going back to what I was saying in the previous stream, I had a person who, watched the video maybe of 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, and they liked it. And I said, okay, well, when I do the follow up to that, I can send this to you, and then you can check it out. Now it takes a while to make it, so I send them the sequel, so to speak. And a week has currently passed, and they have still not seen it. And they've written excuses to me at least 4 or 5 different times. And before anyone tries to do that thing of, well, maybe they've been busy, that, defense of people that we don't know, we try to give the benefit of the doubt. as I've tried to do in some instances. This is someone that's been online for hours every single day. Certainly for at least this week has been, because they're on a website that tells you when they're online and whatnot. They are, especially, and remember it's Saturday, so they're not in school, which means they, you know, don't have that burden of not going, oh well, I'm in class, so I can't watch this, and they still won't do it. And you know, I was drawing some parallels to when I was in this one interaction with this woman who was from another country or whatever, and I asked her to watch this video. It was a couple of months after it came out, and about 4 or 5 days went by without her watching it. And I just said, like, yeah, that's how I know you can't follow basic instructions. And it wasn't what ended the interaction, but it played a small little role in exposing who she was. And a lot of times I say, okay, look, if a video is really long, people can't sit through this whole thing. Maybe it takes them a little longer. But this, would you like to know the magic, powerful length that this video was? I can put all of its minutes in on one hand. You're not going to tell me you can't watch 4 minutes of something in 5 days, especially when in her case she was out of school and was not doing any like actual heavy full schedule of work because she lived with her parents, so she didn't have any bills to worry about paying and whatnot. You get my point, that there was just too much that was against her in terms of this argument of, oh, I'm just so inconvenienced. But I was thinking about, why does it take people a long time to do things that I myself don't find that difficult? And I realized a lot of it is based around them not prioritizing, what you care about and having the same view of stuff. And I try to say, well, look, I get that, what I consider a priority, somebody else might not consider one. But I don't feel like I'm really asking them to do anything that's that spectacular or significant. You're being requested to see a video that is short enough to watch in a single day. Arguably every single thing on YouTube is short enough to watch in a day, but there's stuff that's hours long and whatnot. And I said, look, I don't understand how you can't check this out. Like, I just don't get it. And I said this to them, and they were like, oh, I'm so busy, Saudi. It's like, no, that doesn't cut it. Just, if you're truly sorry, watch the damn thing. I certainly will never send them anything after this, but that's what I'm talking about with the consequences, where they want to pretend as if you just keep making these excuses and you keep saying, I'll eventually see this. You're not going to get the person pissed off. It's like, no, I'm already pissed off. My level of anger or rather disillusion, disappointment, whatever, will permeate as you continue to make excuses. Just say you don't want to watch it, and I'll leave you alone. Never send you anything ever again. It's just like with that woman I was talking about during the last stream, where this is someone who was asking me all these little weird questions. And I said, look, this is supposed to be a platonic interaction. I don't have any people other than you who I consider platonic asking me any of this stuff. So either you actually do something with this information, i.e., take this, our, I don't want to say relationship, because it wasn't. It was a situationship where I was bored and looking for somebody to talk to. And certainly was she in the beginning of it as well. So I just said, look, use this for something, or I'm done with you. And I kept getting this lip service of, oh well, we'll eventually meet in person. And before anyone tries to do that thing of, oh my God, you can't expect someone to want to do that so quickly. It's like, dude, you talked to her for 6 months. She lives in a fairly close proximity. There's really no justifiable reason for why that couldn't have happened, other than she just doesn't care. But then you have to wonder, why would you want to know all this little different stuff about me? And that's what I'm talking about, the disconnect, where they say one thing and then they do the opposite. Oh yeah, I have a whole bunch of friends and yada yada yada. But then, oh, I want to know all this stuff about you for whatever reason. It's like, get out of here with that. I really have no patience for it. And like I said, this individual had such a massive ego that she thought if a man spoke to her for more than a fleeting moment, that they were trying to have sex with her or get to know her on some level of eroticism or whatever the hell, because I sent a message saying hello or whatever, or asking to speak by phone. And again, this is not the beginning of our interaction. This is after we've spoken by phone at least one time and spoken in text for weeks without any kind of romantic crap on my part at all. And all of a sudden I'm getting this weird little series of sentences saying, "Oh, I just want you to know I'm not looking for anything romantic because I'm 7 years into something." Like, don't flatter yourself. No one was looking for anything romantic with you. God, it's like you really think you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen that appeared to be single, that I resisted the temptation to speak to in a romantic manner before. Like, no, you're not this. I'm not new to this. And this was followed by her trying to have like a little argument about the relationship stuff. And I was saying, look, bottom line is when I saw you, I didn't think much. I didn't say this person was ugly. I just said you're not attractive enough to where I'm gonna just like lose my mind and go, "Oh, please speak to me. Oh, please talk to me. Oh my God, yes." No. Again, because when you've been around the block before and you've talked to these people and you've gotten to know them on a level of, you know, they appear to be interested a little bit and then they do the complete opposite, you know that those instances of them seeming to be wanting to talk to you are just fleeting moments of stuff that doesn't actually pad out to anything. And what I mean by that, to kind of make this a little bit more clear, because I know that sometimes stuff is communicated. I don't do the best job communicating at all times, because I'm human. But I'm basically saying that if you've talked to enough people and you're a male and you like chicks and they've continuously done things like, "Oh, I think you're really nice to talk to," just for a couple of weeks later to go, "Oh, I'm not interested in speaking," or stop answering their phone. You develop a thing where you're not surprised when you meet new ones and they kind of do the exact same thing, or they do stuff that comes completely out of left field. In this case, it was really weird because she herself even admitted, "I didn't try to say anything romantic at all, um, in the entire weeks that we spoke to each other with regularity." So, that's significant because it shows you how out of left field her comments were. And also it tells you how narcissistic she was to even think that some guy who isn't saying in her, and she admitted this, any romantic stuff to her at all after weeks of talking to her, is secretly plotting to get in her pants and do something to her. She actually thought that. She really believed there's like this little secret cabal of dudes who are like, "Yeah, let me get some of that." Actually believes it. Like, it was incredible. That was a real conspiracy theory she developed in her head. Like, she sat in a room one day and was like, "Man, I'm so hot. Any man who talks to me is trying to get in my pot." Like, no, don't flatter yourself. God, it's like she really thinks she's like all that to such an extent. Like, think of how insane either of the two of you that are watching this would have to be to believe in your head, right? Oh yeah, uh, if this woman speaks to me for more than 5 seconds, she must be into me. Remember, she hasn't said anything romantic. She hasn't said, "I want to see what your banana looks like." Nothing like that. And just by the fact that she's spoken to you for some extended period, she must be trying to get some. Ha 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 ha. Like, what person who has any kind of, I guess, humility, just sort of can like think of themselves, "Okay, well, I'm a person who likes the way I look, but I'm not the best looking person by any means, but I still think I'm serviceable or adequate." What person who has that kind of, just that basic level of humility would say, "Yeah, I'm so attractive. All the women who talk to me are trying to screw me. All the opposite sex trying to get with," like, in her head, really believe that. And this the narcissism with her was real. I'm not gonna like just make her the whole stream about her, but it was crazy, man. It just like seeing that and then thinking to yourself, this person really, they believe that all guys who talk to them, or most of them, are trying to screw. It's like, again, like, the egos. But going over to this voice actor thing and to this person that didn't want to watch the video, I got really upset because I said, "Look, I've never known of more simple things a person can do than go on YouTube, like to just type in youtube.com and then get a link to something and then put that in the tab and then watch that." That doesn't seem like rocket science to me, and it shouldn't be some huge task to check that stuff out. I see we had a couple more people get in. Again, the stream last time got ruined because someone who does that same thing of, hey, I won't speak to you or call you anytime I'm not in front of you. But when I'm in front of you, oh my God, best friend, they decided to do that. So that's the reason for it happening. And I hate to plug this in, but that's kind of why when I put the Patreon thing up, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to. If I didn't have those kinds of things, I could stream a lot more often. Because with a lot of times when I don't want to do it, it's not because I'm going through some huge amount of workload. It's because there are other people around who make all these noises and do stuff that messes with what I'm trying to do. God, it's like if they're not around you every 20 or 30 minutes, they start like ripping their hair out. It's crazy. Like, you guys really just stop? Hilarious with your rants. I feel you. Yeah, well, I've tried to have some level of comedy to the stuff. I actually got accused by another user on another pointless forum that nobody goes to of being bland, and not having enough comedy. So I've written my jokes out on a piece of paper back there. I have a little tiny magnifying glass. Or rather one of those little glasses you look into and it reflects and shows me what's on the paper, so I can read it and then try and attempt my humor and whatnot. I mean, this isn't as good as Saturday Night Live, but I'm trying to quell his concerns. Think how crazy that is. You don't even watch my stuff. Well, I don't think you saw. Like, yeah, because you saw the one video out of however many, and then now you have a window into my content. God, it's insane. Uh, it's so lame. Well, yeah. Well, again, people online, like, don't get on here if you don't expect stupidity. That's part of the problem with anybody being able to go on the internet. That all levels and wavelengths of intelligence are on here. I mean, I remember one time I was on a CNN video and there was somebody talking about they hope some politician died, and I was like, "You're really stupid enough to write that in the YouTube comment section." Well, you do have your picture redacted, so you probably feel a lot more confident about not getting caught. But it's like, calm down, man. It's just it's not worth losing your mind over whatever side they're on. It's like to go, oh my God, this person is going to destroy everything. But going back to what I was saying, you have this individual who continues to try to convince me that they're so busy, and I just kept not buying. I just kept saying, look, man, I know you're on here and you have these periods of hours on your computer where you're in a form, you're on YouTube yourself watching stuff you like. I just asked you to watch this one thing this one time. You don't have to watch it 10 times or share it around, even though I'd appreciate the latter. But just check this out. And they couldn't do it. It was almost like kryptonite. It was like he put on a blue and red suit, and every time I sent him the link, it was like me holding a shard of kryptonite and just him going, ah, ah, ah. And it was the same with the voice actor stuff. I'm telling you, I went through over a dozen of these people trying to get them to record for this stuff, read a piece of paper, tell you what's going on. And it's like they're all Kryptonian and the script is kryptonite. Or they're Green Lanterns and the script is yellow. It's like you put up some it was their weakness. Like, doing what they call themselves set out to do, which is voice acting, was their kryptonite. It was their weakness. It was the Achilles heel and the one thing they couldn't do. Yes, they can go online and post all this stupid stuff about other things that are unrelated to the profession. But if you want them to actually record and do the thing that they claim that they're able to do, they can't help you. You're screwed. Or before they tell you that you're screwed, they try to lead you on to think that that they're interested. That's why I did the what's the name of that video? Let me see what its name was. But I did one that was on the voice actor topic, like the fact that I kept speaking to so many of them and getting the same result, and then they can't even just say no, I'm not interested. They have to go, oh, I'd love to know more about your project. And you tell them, unfortunately, my schedule is very booked, or they just don't respond. It's like, okay, well, just say you're not interested. Like, screw everything else. You don't need any details. You don't need any like plot summary. You don't need a list of the equipment I use. Just say, I don't care what you're doing. I'm not interested. Leave me alone. Goodbye. Buzz off. Disappear, vermin. I'd be much more content with that than this drawn out, lengthy back and forth these people like to have. I mean, there's one broad in that that video of the screenshots I took, who's literally writing me paragraphs, and it was insane. I was like, who the hell is so just you wrote all that just so you could say, yeah, I'm not actually planning on doing this. Then why the hell did you write the paragraphs? But that's what I'm saying. It's like something in their brain like says, this is your profession and you don't want to do it. Isn't like doesn't that spell out that there's a problem? Apparently not. That's why I started living in the Twilight Zone. Anyways, this person had, because I'm gonna get my stream interrupted again. Knowing that the way stuff is, unfortunately. So to close us out, because events are terrible and people like to mess things up, I'm gonna show you how to play a YouTube video. I know a lot of people have trouble with this, so let's see if I can demonstrate this quickly enough. Because remember, this person hasn't been able to watch it because it's so difficult to watch something on YouTube. Let's try. Okay, you click on the video, the URL. You watch a little stupid ad that has nothing to do with it because that's how YouTube works now. And then you start the video. And you have the option to turn it up in case you can't hear it. Wow. And then you can pause it if you don't want to listen to all of it at the current time that you click the link. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's like next thing you know, you'll be telling me that I can actually have YouTube pick out which part of the video to start watching. So if there's a part of it I don't want to see, or that maybe someone has warned me about, I can skip over it and still enjoy the rest of it. That's like out of this world. I mean, whoa, this innovative technology, who would have ever guessed? Clicking on a video and stopping and pausing it and then coming back when you can watch the rest of it. Oh my God. I feel like my breath has been taken away. I can't believe it, man. What a spectacular website. No one's ever going to be able to do this again. I think this will probably be the only website ever where you can watch a video and then pause it. And then you can send a link to people and check it out any other time you want. That's crazy. And this is on for 24 hours a day. So if I wake up this morning, I can watch it. If I go to sleep tonight, I can watch it. If I'm in the shower and I have my phone on the register, I can watch it. Whoa, I can't believe it. Yeah, David, I think that I must be on the easy difficulty. There's no way something can be this simple. There has to be like after hours, maybe every video doesn't have the stop option disappears and you must watch the whole thing then and there. And the volume is set at one volume. And if you don't like that, you have to take your ears somewhere else. There's no way it can be that easy. I mean, forget a caveman. This is so simple. A rock could do it if it had hands and a functioning brain, which is something a lot of these people seem to be lacking that we're talking about. I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't understand why something as simple as watching a video was turned into this. Like, I almost want to take the messages, like not even the stuff around them, because we talk about other things, but I almost want to take those and put them all into like a little video and just show you the like 4 or 5 different instances of, I can't watch it today, sorry, or I am busy with this, or I have to do that. I'll watch it eventually. It's like, just check the damn thing out. And that's why, like, with that voice actor, and David, you were here for the other stream before it got destroyed, and I'm very apologetic that you had to go through seeing something you cherished watching so much be evaporated by another person who wants you to think that they care about you while spending the rest of the year pretending you don't exist. In that same stream, I was like, look, you have these systems, like it's never been easier to do certain things, and like with the voice actors, it was so difficult, right? Month after month, week after week, to get these people to check this stuff out, even though it was in a very simple way, just read these lines and that's it. And just to finally have someone who says, screw hearing all the details, just tell me what the role is, I'll do it. And then 30 minutes later, here's all the lines in this big file. I almost feel like I died and gone to heaven. Like I thought that for a moment I was having some sort of apocalyptic seizure. Like it was just this thing that was constantly showing itself to not be getting better, finally altered or turned to something else. All right, well, thank you. I'll check out the video after. I have the because I don't leave comments on other people's stuff that much because they like to write nasty things back to me and I don't like to see it. So I'll check it out later. because I'm a precious little flower who can't take nasty comments. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was sitting here just with my mouth agape. It's like, wait a second. After months of trying to get voice actors on that website to record this, someone that's not on that website records it like that. Couldn't believe it. I mean, next thing you know, Jesus is going to come back, or you know, some other conspiracy theory people have will be proven to be correct. Like, I thought the world was about to end. Like, there's no way that something that shows itself to be terrible month after month after month can be solved so easily. It was just like the chick thing where the one time I ever got with anyone, that person approached me, and I kept getting told, you got to go out and talk, and you got to go out. It's like, no, the only time this ever worked, I ever had someone who said, I like you back or whatever, was someone that I didn't make the initial contact with. I don't think that's a coincidence. But again, I already advocated for, it being the other way around, where the women approach the men. So, they don't people don't want to hear that. They've already been told too many logical things by me. I need to close my mouth and not speak anymore. Okay, I wish I could pronounce your name. The Vigiler. If my username's not, it's unintentional. I mean, hey, it's not as creepy as the Joker concept art for the Dark Knight. That thing gave me the chills, man. Matter of fact, let me see if I can post that. Like, everybody loves to talk about Heath Ledger's performance and like how great it was and whatnot. And yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't, but if you actually see that design and then know what more they were trying to do, that looks like something from a horror film. See if I can pull this up. That was creepy as all hell. It's like somebody really designed this for a movie that little kids we're gonna go to. Unbelievable. Copy link. What did you say again? What film did you say again? Oh, the Dark Knight. That Batman movie that everybody loves, everybody thinks is one of the greatest films ever made. And I wouldn't even say they're necessarily wrong about that. And I don't give into popular opinion a lot of times on stuff, but it's certainly it's of a high quality. I'll put it that way. I was saying that concept art is so creepy and freaky and whatnot. Like, just the fact that we could have actually had that on the screen, and that someone thought seriously about doing that is what is insane to me. Like, just it's so. Oh my god! It's like, who the hell designed that? They were just trying to freak you out. It's a lack of respect we have for each other out here. Some people rather have sex with inanimate objects than other people that like. Wow. Yeah, they don't. I've said it before. I think most people have adopted my mentality of just like, if I don't have a use for it and I don't like you, I'm not going to talk to you. But they don't want to say it. They try to be nicer about, oh, well, I've been so busy. It's like, no, you're not busy. You were sitting at home eating yogurt. You just don't care. Okay, that's like had a bit. Dirk said, I'm actually going to end up using that, like something similar to that design for my show. It's all good. It'll get repurposed. This poster, the poster with the joke. Yeah, I was saying that's what that was the creepy thing I was talking about. I just put the picture in there. I actually got Dirk. I thought you were talking about. So yeah, you're talking about Jason, the one from the horror movies. But I thought you were talking about the Jason from the comics, the one that Joker killed, that all the fans voted to have die. It's like, press this number if you'd like Batman's child sidekick to get murdered. And everybody's like, yeah, let me press that. Jesus Christ. I feel like sometimes, like, some of the sadistic stuff people do to fictional characters is just insane. Like, it really and again, it's not anything to get upset or worried about people's mentality over, but just like, they really had no problem being like, yeah, because we don't like this character, let's let them die in this gruesome, horrible way. Like, damn. Oh my god. That's literally just on some perfect human thing. All the vote of the people have the fate of Jason. Yeah. And I think it was on the the back cover of Death in the Family, where what's the name of that writer? The one writer, I think it was the one who wrote the Returns, so the one with the old Batman, where he was like, bringing Jason back would be a really sleazy thing to do, and then like what was it, 20 years later they did bring him back. Oh, we well, if you want, we could do a stream on Batman at some point if you wanted to, because I think I'm well versed enough to convey like the basics basically. I would prefer to have like a timeline of it, be like, okay, this is when this comes out, and then later on that's when that happens. Just sort of giving you the basic, like the stuff that's overarching, and you get my point. I hope so anyway. So it depends if you want that. I don't want to make that, and you know it's fine to not show up when it's happening, but you don't even watch it later. You're just like this person where like, oh yeah, I'll see the video. Then you show them the video. Uh oh, I'll watch it eventually next year. Let's see. You mean a let's play? No, 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 no. I meant the actual history of the character, like just kind of breaking that all down in like one stream. Like I'd be able to do that. Dirk says, by the way, did you see the recent Secular Talk video? Iran getting zero exports. I didn't see it, but I can check it out. Um, I'll look at it on my own time. I just wanted to, kind of go through the nines of all these different weird, stupid things that people are doing because they make no sense. Like, I just don't get why it takes someone a week to watch a video when they have hours to themselves every day. Like, it just, oh my God. And I told you about the woman who I was talking to, and I was like, hey, can you watch this? And then, oh, I forgot. And the video, like she can't watch this or declines watching it. Because after days go by, it's like, oh, I'm just remembering. I'm like, oh man, forget it. And it was 4 minutes long. Like she could literally watch a minute a day. Oh my God. Sorry, not into. Hey, I mean, everybody has their own thing, so it's all good. You don't have to apologize. We're not gonna go after you for not liking what we like. So it's fine. No one's here to shame you and get upset and angry. He doesn't like a character I like. I'm so pissed. Time to remove him from the stream. Well, again, that's kind of my thing. That over here, I've advocated for honesty over like trying to appease and be friends with everybody. Like, if there's something I think I'll get screwed with over saying, I just won't say it. Like, all right, whatever. I don't care anymore. just withdraw from that particular conversation or talking point. But like I said, with these people online, they're just so fake, man. It's like, why can't you just say you don't want to watch this video? Like, why do you have to like with tap dance for a week of, oh well, maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. I'm up in the air. Possibly I'll watch it. I have no idea. Like, just check it out. Or don't check it out. Say, you know what? I don't care about this video. I don't care about watching what you wanted me to. There, I finally said, like, okay, well, I don't agree with that. It kind of does piss me off, but it pissed me off a hell of a lot more for you to keep pretending like, you were so interested just to keep playing this stupid game. So it's all good. And same thing with that woman. It's like, oh yeah, I want to know where, what state you're in and yada 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 and blah blah blah. Like, okay, well then what are you gonna like meet me in person? Are you gonna it's like, oh yeah, I'm not upset with that, but you were the one who was the most reluctant. I was like, I told you I was from the get-go. So are you gonna do this? Or oh well, it's like, look, forget the word salad and just do it. You want to meet, do it. Set a date, set a place. And if you're so scared, you think somebody's going to do something because you're such a narcissist and believe the whole world is trying to have sex with you, you can meet in a police station or some other public area. Really isn't hard to encounter people in a safe way. They just choose to be scared and cower and wimpy and whatnot. David says, do people really act like this because they can't get attention? Because they can get attention anywhere because of the internet. But why though? Well, what it is that a lot of them enjoy the fact that they have you on their word. Like this guy was like, actually thinks if I just keep putting this out, And it's stupid because I would mess him anyway, but if he knows, I'll be a lot quicker to be like, hey, what the hell if he doesn't watch this than if he does. Um, and it's the same thing with her, where she thought in her head, I can just keep getting this person to speak to me with the premise of I'm going to make this go further than what it is. Because again, no one's asking for any romantic crap to begin with, and we've already debunked, her narcissism in that particular manner. But meeting a person in person, if you call yourselves friends with that individual, which is why I don't go around saying everybody's my friend and oh, I'm so happy and I love everyone and you make me feel all warm and fuzzy. Don't do any of that. So it's not on me to try to make a quote unquote friendship actually turn into something. At least not me entirely. I've tried to be susceptible to when individuals actually show interest back. But as far as like, let me go out and talk to 99 people and get them to try and meet me. No, I don't. Who cares about that? But apparently she did. Well, again, in lip service only, because when you actually say, set something up, this starts to occur. Huh? What do you mean? What are you saying? What are you talking about? I don't comprehend. I don't follow. I don't get it. I'm not understanding. I'm confused. Like, yeah, we know you're confused. Let me spell it out really quickly for you. Either do this in the next couple of weeks or just stop speaking to me. And I was like, all right, well, I'm done with you. This is me washing my hands of you. So it wasn't hard to pull the plug on that stuff. And again, it's because it's not saying you can't that there's no redeeming qualities about these people, but it is saying you can only be pushed so far as in terms of just sort of following behind what they want you to say. Like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'll keep obeying everything you want me to do. Yeah. I can't wait until it finally works out for me in the end, right? Like, nope. I just got sick of it. I said, it's not worth going to such extremes over. Let's see. I think it's because you might have. What the hell? I'm gonna ignore that. Look, I already said before, I'm not a fan of internet psychologists or therapists. So, and kind of the point of me recognizing why these interactions are really stupid is because I have been able to meet with people who don't do these things. So, if you really feel that way, it's dependent on you. Okay, Hamas says it's worse when you plan a day and time and the day comes and they don't ever reply. Yeah. Like with her, every time I would have a call with her, she would back out of it and it would always be like, you set this up 3 days ago, an hour before. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm going to the mall. I'm having family visit. I'm whacking off. Just after a while you say, screw it. Well, in response to the what you just said, that's kind of the point of why I hate just the relationship thing in general, because if I didn't have issues with these interactions, I would be considered a normal person. I wouldn't have anyone trying to say I had some mental illness I haven't even had diagnosed. I wouldn't have anyone attempting to sort of, like do a window into my soul and tell me all of what I like. All that stuff would be completely out the window if this didn't exist. And it can, I can choose to make it not exist, as far as like, I guess, not discussing it or just quitting altogether and saying, you know what, I'm only going to talk to that one friend I had from childhood that never pisses me off at all, and just say screw it to everybody else, and we can do it that way. Sometimes I think I really am stupid for just actually believing that any of these people are any better than what I thought they were. So maybe that is my mistake. Maybe I am dumb. I'll have to look into that one. So if anyone has anything else to say, speak now or forever hold your peace. Like I said, I feel like I've tried to convey an idea with some level of clarity, and I just, it sometimes gets lost in the mix of other people's minds, just sort of dementing it. Does he have special interest? disease, and I guess anyone who goes to, is mentally ill too. Well, yeah, that's my point. That I don't get why people do that. Like I actually had a person who came in my comment section over a year ago, um, and said something to that effect, and I was like, dude, you don't even know me. And again, when I this is why like it's so toxic to just sort of discuss people because I really don't feel like I'm asking for much, just talking to a person by phone. And when they set it up, them not backing out, is that really such a terrible thing? I don't understand how that is becoming of takes it more seriously. Well, yeah, I because I actually think that if something is going to work, the two people who are involved have to take it seriously. Just like my friend that lives in another city, we speak a lot less frequently than me and these other people, but he'll call, I'll pick up, I have a conversation about what's going on, and that's about it. I'm not here to attempt to make anyone sort of bow to my will because I understand he works, he goes to school. So I try to be comforting of and compromising with his schedule. I don't really see what's wrong with that. Like I said, I'll talk to people who want to talk to me. If it's something like, oh, I wanted to speak to you, but this is my 90th time canceling. I'm just gonna say screw it. I'm saying it a way of being nothing. Well, again, this is my point that I have never expressed or articulated having any kind of disorders or whatnot. So I don't get where, and like I said, people never leave these kind of comments when I talk about politics 24/7. I got called smart or stupid, but it was always on the premise of your position or just the fact that you paid attention to it. But only when you talk about this relationship stuff, here they come. Everybody turns into a doctor. It'd be funny if we had like for like the next stream, I'm like wearing like some old whole nurse outfit. And I'm like, good time to tell you what the mental illness you have. Like I said, I'm not, because you don't strike me from just what you've written before, like in this in the last stream. You don't strike me as someone that's trying to like do something. Well, that's why I'm not reprimanding you or anything. It's just, like I again, my patience is understandably thin. Let's see. I wouldn't listen to all these so-called doctors. The whole point is to make money of the people. They don't feel anything. Just give tips that cause more side effects. Well, like I said, if you have confidence in who you are, you don't let what someone says that a person that's never met you um, dictate how you feel about who you are. And ironically enough, a lot of times when you get accused of, when you talk about these interactions in a disparaging way, you have people who accuse you of having something wrong. And it's funny because you bite back against it, and now it's time to like try to argue with you in an attempt to make it seem like it's some, uh, refusal of blame or whatever. I guess it's just people are always at conflict with each other over everything. It's sad. See, I'm sweet. Well, again, we didn't say that you were, but it's just the fact that people try to do that. All right. So does anyone have anything else to say? I think I've made up for the other one getting blown to pieces by the hey, I haven't spoken to you all year, but now that I see you in person, let me say hello. I wish that type of mentality would just go away. Like that really needs to be expelled from just people's behavioral patterns. I don't get it. Everybody wants to be nice and smiley to someone that internally knows they don't care about them. Why the hell else wouldn't they contact you over the course of the entire year? Just like the person who came here to get that package, asking about my birthday. It's like you don't care about that because you would have called me when it happened. You have a phone. You use your phone every day. We know that because you post on social media daily. So it's simple. And you're not on tour in Afghanistan or Iraq, or your phone didn't explode. You just choose not to. Um, I'll see if I can check it out. Hamza. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I just I don't know. I've been in kind of a rut when it comes to these films now. Like just anytime they come out, I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess that's fine. Just people get so excited about them, and I don't think I've really been super excited about any of them since like the last 2 or 3 years. Just whenever there's like a character that's been for a long time not being able to get a film, and they finally get one, that usually makes me a lot more like, oh man, this is great. A point. It's good that you released. Now you have better. Well, I'm sorry you're lonely. I don't know what else I can do to fix that. I'm just saying that you got to accept in an era where people kind of are selfish and a lot of times try to mask it behind doing certain things. You have to be comfortable with being by yourself. Um, because the premise that someone is going to come along and suddenly bring all this light in your life, all this, mumbo jumbo, it's predicated on the actions of another person. You can try to appeal to them, you can try to do all this other stuff, but in the event that it doesn't happen, you just have to accept, hey, well, I'm not horrible, well, by myself, so let me just do whatever I can that doesn't require other people. I'll catch me when I can watch it for free. David, I'm of a pretty similar mentality. Uh, you're not too far off from my own position. That's crazy. People always always rush out to see these movies in these jam packed theaters where it's like 99 people sitting up, squeezed on each other. And I love it when they have like someone will yell out spoilers of the film as it's happening or before the movie starts. Like when I went to see The Last Airbender, that horrible live action Avatar film, and somebody like before anyone, I think it's the beginning scene, and then someone in the audience was like, "Oh," like pronounced it the way that they did in the film because they read the stuff online and saw the trailers and whatnot. It was gold, absolutely wonderful. Being alone is good, but also talking to other humans, just a balance. Well, that's kind of my thing that every time this stuff happens with these people, like I blame myself for getting excited that this person would watch this video after they said they would. Because if I never spoke to them about doing this, I wouldn't be disappointed when they chose not to do it. I blame myself that this broad, decided to waste my time month after month. Um, Even though, again, because if I hadn't spoken to her in the first place, none of what happened afterward ever happened. So it's just a thing of you because you can't control what other people do, but then you also account for the part of you even bothering to talk to them in the first place. It just feels like you're betrayed by your human instinct because internally I don't have a thing where when I see a new commenter or some new person, whatever, I'm going to instantly think that person's trying to waste your time. They're trying to do something screwed up, because just I don't want to say I have a trusting nature, but I don't think there's like some grand ball conspiracy to mess with me, and that's shown itself to not be necessarily an entirely horrible way of thinking. David says the last Airbender was horrible. What a waste. I didn't say you were annoying. I was just saying that diagnosis. I was like, oh my god, here we go again. Like I said, I just wish people could look at individuals who have problems with interactions and just say, hey, maybe it is if there's one person who's going out and trying to talk to these people and they're getting the same result and they're compromising and putting up with their schedule, maybe it's the other person's fault it's not working. Maybe the individual who is trying to make this work should be given the shaft, or rather, as far as when it comes to critiquing, because they're going out of their way to attempt to, rectify this and actually make it, function. Society becomes more shallow each year. It almost feels like far from annoying. Oh, that's so sweet. He's telling you he's telling you don't annoy me. I can almost picture two of you just like exchanging some very pleasant words. But yeah, in conclusion, if somebody asks you to watch a video and you don't want to watch it, just say you don't want to watch it. Don't waste their time for a week. And if you don't want to voice act for a project, just say you don't want to voice act. Don't ask them a million questions about what's the plot, what's the summary, what's. I even had one idiot who asked me about the art style. I was like, dude, out of these last 15 people I've talked to, you're the only one asking what it looks like. That means there's something strange about you. Um, but yeah, when you finally do meet someone who actually records the stuff and people who actually want to speak to you, it makes it all the much more comforting and rewarding to get someone that actually gives a damn in that regard. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you for attending and have a good day. And I am in such a better mood thanks to that voice actor doing that stuff. I feel like, again, a giant weight has been lifted off my shoulder.